Hi everyone, and welcome to a brand new show here on SSP TV called Ask the Audiologist. We are here at the Laurel Mall in the brand new location of Ambrose Hearing, and we're here with the owner, Shea DeNoia. So thanks for having us back here and doing the show with us in this brand new location.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be opening this location. We're right here at the Laurel Mall, so it's very convenient for everybody, but we're still keeping our Pottsville location as well.
Yes, we want to educate everyone today about what you do, your qualifications, how we can help them with their hearing. So, I mean, I know you're a little older, but you look a little younger, but you've gone to school for this, you're experienced,
Yes.
You've been in business for 5 years already.
Yes, it's crazy. I took over a practice in Pottsville right out of school, and I've been running that for the past 5 years. I went to Bloomsburg University. I did my undergraduate degree there, and then 4 more years of my graduate degree right there on campus.
And we have done commercials and shows with you in the Pottsville location. And for those of you watching in Pottsville, again, you can still get your services done at Ambrose Hearing in that location.
Correct.
So that location is open and it's available for appointments?
Yes, you can still call like you normally would. We're still answering the phone 5 days a week. It's just by appointment now. But pretty much nothing has changed. All your services, your hearing tests, cleaning for your hearing aids, anything you need is still available in Pottsville. But we'll also be doing the same type of services here. We have the fully functional office, a brand new sound booth, hearing tests, cleaning. So whatever you need, we can get in both locations.
That's so great. So let's focus our attention here at the new location.
Sure.
Inside the Laurel Mall. SSP TV is also located inside of the Laurel Mall for those of you who are wondering where we're actually physically located. And it is, I can tell you from experience, it's such a nice location because it's safe, it's clean, there's ample parking, it's very convenient. And again, with you, it's very convenient because this is by appointment only. So walk us through where you're located in the Laurel Mall and how people can find you.
So we're pretty centrally located. It's very easy to access, which is super nice. A lot of people are familiar with GNC, so we're just 2 doors down. You can access it from multiple locations as well, but probably the easiest is right underneath the parking garage. Come up the steps or the elevator, make a right, and we're just a few doors down, and we have all the signage up too, so we're pretty easy to find.
Very, very good. Also handicapped accessible.
Yes.
The doors, it's flat, so you can come right in. As
Correct.
you can see, it's very easy to access,
Yeah.
even if you're coming by yourself.
Yeah, if you're coming by yourself, even if you have a wheelchair, a walker, we're very easily to accommodate that. For the sound booth, I also have a little ramp that we can put out, so again, there's no problem.
All right, so let's get into, we talked about your qualifications. What actually do you do as an audiologist?
So as an audiologist, I actually have a doctorate degree, so I am able to diagnose and treat hearing loss. So we can identify all ages of hearing loss, right from birth all the way up to many, many years old. So we're able to kind of help everybody. I specialize more in adult and geriatric population, but that doesn't mean you can't call me and like I can help you get a referral if you would need a child.
And when people think of, you know, losing their hearing, they might think they can't hear at all, but that is not necessarily the case.
No, not at all.
What are the signs that someone might be looking for if they think they are losing some type of their hearing?
Sure. So I would say probably the number one sign is just asking for frequent repetitions. Also, you know, they respond to you off topic. So you might be talking about what you want for dinner and they're on something totally different. Mm-hmm. You will also notice, and I get this a lot, the television is incredibly loud, or you're starting to start using closed captioning. And once you start noticing that, then it's time to kind of come in and just see what's going on. You shouldn't have to have the TV up, you know, at 90 volume with closed captioning on. Even though I do tell my patients television is difficult, they put a lot of background music on and everything, but if family member or a friend comes in and says, wow, that's really loud, it might be time to come in and see what's going on.
What if you have any ringing or like buzzing in your ear? Is
Sure.
that a sign of hearing loss?
Sometimes it depends. Ringing and buzzing, that can be an indication of hearing loss, but it's not always. A little ringing here and there, you can hear that once in a while. But if you're having it constantly, that is a good sign to get checked.
Okay, so walk us through the process. If someone is interested in meeting with you and, walk us through, they call, they make the appointment that they think they have some hearing loss or they want to get their ears checked. What do they do when they come in?
Sure, so the unique part is it's always me. So I answer the phones, I kind of do it all. It's a one-man show, which is nice because I always know my patients, who's calling, what's going on. You don't have to really repeat anything. I know your situation. So if you were a new patient and you want to come in, you would kind of give me a brief overview of what's going on. We'll pick a time and you can come either to Pottsville or here, and then we'll get you set up for an evaluation. That's the number one step. So that doesn't mean you're gonna walk out with hearing aids or that's what you necessarily need. It's just, let's see what's going on. I always tell people, even if you're unsure, just come in for a baseline test. It takes maybe 20 minutes and you get a good idea of what's happening.
Okay, so walk us through, when you say an evaluation, what does that entail?
Sure, so an evaluation, you'd come in, I'm gonna take a case history, get some medical information, just gather pertinent information, and it's a nice time to for you to tell me what your problems are, what your concerns are, and we just get a good feel of what's going on. And then I'll take you over into the soundproof booth and I'm gonna look in your ears with an otoscope, and I can see then too if it's wax in your ears. I know that's a common question too, like it's just wax, there's nothing wrong. So I'll be able to tell you if you have a buildup of wax or anything like that. And then we'll go and test your hearing. And that's when I use my audiometer and you're in that soundproof booth.
So is it, when you say you're testing, is it like raise your hand if you hear the sound, or what kind of testing is it?
Sure. So there's a couple different ways we can do that. The most common one is by just pressing a button, and that indicates to me that you heard the frequency that I'm testing. Or you can raise your hand or simply say, I hear it. We can make tons of accommodations for the response pattern. But what you're going to be doing is I'm going to go from the low frequencies, think of like a man's voice, all the way up into the high frequencies, so that really squeaky, shrill type sound. We'll go through every single frequency, and then that will help me diagnose what's going on.
Okay, and then once that's done, do you go over the results that day with them? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll come back over to this area and I'll show you an audiogram, which is just the plot of all the frequencies that I was doing. And then I'll be able to tell you if the hearing loss is something I'd want to put hearing aids on.
Very good. We're here at Ambrose Hearing. It is the newest location. If you're watching us in Pottsville, don't worry, because she's keeping that location
Definitely.
too. You can still go to that location in Pottsville. This is the newer location located in the Laurel Mall in Hazleton. And this is our brand new show called Ask the Audiologist here on SSP TV. We're happy to be serving Hazleton and Pottsville and also the Wilkes-Barre area. So thank you for watching us here on SSP TV and also on ssptv.com. When we come back, we are going to learn more about some signs of hearing loss and what you can do to preserve your hearing. So stay with us right here on SSP TV. Hey guys, welcome back to SSP TV. If you're watching us in Pottsville, Hazleton, and Wilkes-Barre, thank you very much. If you're watching us online, thank you as well. We are back here with Shea DeNoia. She is opening a new place here at the Laurel Mall, but she's not new to this market. She's been in Pottsville for 5 years, and now this is a second brand new location that you can make an appointment for Ambrose Hearing. We're talking about taking care of your hearing, right?
Yes.
All right. So when we left, we were talking about, coming in for the eval, going in for the tests, going over the tests. From there, let's move to actually looking if they need hearing aids.
Sure.
What is the next step for them to do?
Sure. So once we go over the audiogram, that's after the booth testing and all of that, we would determine if they need hearing aids. And if they're on board and willing to try something, I can even program a set of hearing aids right in the office that same day just to get a feel for how it sounds. I always kind of caution everybody about it though, because it's going to sound totally different once you get in your own environment. So it's just a rough idea of what something would sound like and get that idea for you.
I can't believe how far hearing aids have come. I mean, you can't even see the hearing aids in people's ears.
Yeah.
Now, before you would think it was like a big piece of equipment that's on the side of your ear, but that's not the case anymore.
No, not at all. I mean, there's someone like you, if you were to wear hearing aids, you would never know the way your hair covers it. My hair would cover it. You would never be able to tell. They've come a long way, and they're very small now. The neat thing about it too is that they also have Bluetooth capabilities. So you can go on your iPhone or Android, and there's an application that you would download, and you would be able to just adjust your hearing aids like you're sending a text message. No one would even know what you're doing. So that opens so many capabilities for individuals.
Yes. So once you decide that you actually need the hearing aids, is it possible that you only need one hearing aid, or do you always go with two hearing aids? How does that work?
Yeah, that's a very common question as well. So it's all based on the audiogram. Everything I do is based on my diagnosis and what we find during that evaluation. So I always tell people too, if you have two ears that both have a hearing loss and you qualify for hearing aids, then absolutely you want to wear two hearing aids. And I say that because we have two ears and our brain is used to using that information from both sides. So think about if I put it on your right side, you're going to feel like everybody's talking to you on that side, and all that information is going to pull that way. So it's going to be really hard to localize what area of the room that sound is coming from.
Okay.
So I mean, if it was a matter of budget or something that you want to just start with one, we could definitely start there, but two is always better than one.
Obviously, we got to look at our finances, and everyone is on a tight budget. How does this work? Through insurance, or how do you work with them through that?
Right, so it's all individual basis. Medicare Advantage plans, some common ones are like Geisinger, Gold, or Aetna. Sometimes they have been starting to have a benefit for hearing aids, which is very nice. That initial time that you call in that we were talking about, if you give me that information, I'd be more than willing to go ahead and verify that for you. Otherwise, it is out of pocket.
Okay, but they would know that expense up front.
Correct, yeah, and that's something I can discuss with you at your first appointment. There's all types of budgets that we can work with, and it's all based on technology level. But again, when I talk to you and get a feel for your lifestyle and what you really need that hearing aid for, I can determine what would be best for you and your budget. So we're definitely cautious of what type of hearing aid we're putting you in and cognizant of your budget. So I can work with anything.
Right. So what makes you different, than someone else? Why are we choosing Ambrose Hearing over going to someone else that might be in the area?
Sure. So number one, I am an audiologist. My education and my background is very important, but also it's unique because it's just me this whole ride. So you call in, you get me, you need help or anything comes up, just call in, and I'm always going to know what's going on.
Yeah, we've done testimonials with some of your patients. Some have just walked in and have said I call her anytime, and at least they have someone to talk to. They're not talking to a recording, or they don't have to wait a week or 2 weeks till someone gets back to them.
Yeah,
and that's
definitely
important. If you're having a concern, once you get those hearing aids, it's not like you walk out of here problem free. You're going to have to do some tweaking, right?
Correct. Yeah, maintenance is involved, and I teach you everything, but I'll walk you step by step through it, and I'm always here for you, so you can call at any time. I do have an email set up too, or you can even text my phone number as well. So I'm pretty responsive at getting back to you and helping you out the whole step of the way. So that is something that is unique.
Yeah. Once you get a set of hearing aids, is it something that you have them for life then? Is there a warranty on them?
Right, so how I was talking about before about those technology levels, they all are assigned a different warranty.
Okay.
So that changes the price as well. Typical life of the hearing aid with all the small features and everything that's going on is about 3 to 5 years. Now, if they're taken really care of really well, we could push that up to 7 to 10.
Oh, wow.
But that's a unique situation. Warranties are typically 1 to 3 years, so that would cover maintenance or anything that would happen. It won't cover if the dog eats it or it gets run over by a car, but we've had that. But even if that would happen, there is a one-time like kind of wiggle room in there
Okay.
that we could take care of that for you.
And are hearing aids waterproof?
No, so some people have jumped into the shower quickly with them, and I say that's not the worst thing because you're so used to them, you don't even realize they're on anymore. So I'm not even mad if that happens because you've adjusted so well. They're water resistant, so if you go outside in a rainstorm or you splash a little water on, you're totally fine. But don't go swimming or try to bathe with them.
So they're not waterproof yet?
No,
Technology
resistant, but not waterproof.
Okay, so like don't dunk your head underwater.
No, please don't.
Take a shower with them, like take them out.
Correct. Yeah, try to remove them. It is a medical device. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, if you're just joining us, the newest location of Ambrose Hearing, and it's also one of the newest stores here at the Laurel Mall. Again, ample parking, easy to get to. And again, Shea is by appointment, so you can give her a call at the number on the screen and make your appointment if you think you have hearing loss or you have a family member or a loved one that you think needs to get their hearing checked. You could come on in here and get your appointment set in the new year and make sure you're taking care of your health. We want to remind you that the Pottsville location of Ambrose Hearing is staying open. This is an expansion of Ambrose Hearing. So if you live in Pottsville and you still want to go to that office, that's fine. You can make an appointment and get your hearing needs taken care of there. When we come back, we will learn more about Ambrose Hearing and why you should be booking here with us on a brand new show, Ask the Audiologist, here on SSP TV. Stay with us. Hey everyone, if you're just tuning in, you're watching a brand new show here on SSP TV called Ask the Audiologist. We're here at Ambrose Hearing, the newest location located in the Laurel Mall in Hazleton. It's very simple to get to, located right by GNC. You could actually park underground if the weather is not that nice outside. Come right up the escalator and make a right, and she's right here, handicapped accessible. We are by appointment here, and we're learning a lot about our hearing here with Shea DeNoia. She is an audiologist. She actually has her doctorate, and she's a smart little cookie. So let's talk more about the maintenance of these hearing aids. Once they come in, they get the evaluation, they determine that they need the hearing aids. What is the maintenance on these?
Sure. So I'll go over all of that too at your first appointment, how to clean them and care for them. It's pretty simple. You just have to brush them and clean the little components. I say daily, and make sure you're not using like Clorox wipes or anything damaging for the hearing aids. So there is like a little cloth that comes with it, but a dry tissue does the job. And then there's a little brush. So that's pretty much it. And then just make sure you're always keeping them in their case and they're not just getting thrown on a side table where the dogs and all kinds of
kids
little fingers can get on them. So we don't want anything like that. And that's pretty much it. As far as how often you have to come back to the office, that kind of is a case-by-case basis. I typically say at least once a year. I would like to see you twice, but at least once, and that way I can get in here and change all the small components that you don't have to worry about, vacuum them, dry them out for you, and just make sure everything is working well.
And that will help with the lifespan of them
Absolutely,
as well.
Yeah. The more that you get a good cleaning on them and routine care, it definitely preserves their lifespan.
Now, once you have the hearing aids, does that help keep the hearing that you have, or how does that work?
There's no way to really determine that. A lot of this is genetics and hereditary, so you can't say it's preserving it. There's definitely some factors that you can consider to preserve some of the hearing that you do have. For example, we all love music and outdoor activities, but you want to make sure you're not abusing that and you're not constantly listening to loud music or anything damaging. I also say too, once you have hearing aids, don't go run the lawnmower or snow blower with them in. It's really going to be painful. So they always come out and you want to put muffs or any kind of plug in your ear to protect that hearing.
Okay, so we talked about if you actually have hearing loss, but maybe some tips for people who maybe, they have their hearing now, but maybe they're afraid that it is hereditary and they want to actually keep as much hearing as possible. Are there things we can do for the safety of our ears and hearing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I say, if you're around excessive loud noises, maybe your job is, you're just doing yard work, or you're running the snow blowers now, just make sure you're not doing it for long durations of time. And if you do have a pair of earmuffs that you can throw on, or even just those, disposable earplugs, throw them in, because the more that you wear them, the more you're protecting your hearing in the long run. Also, if you are concerned that it's hereditary, say maybe mom and dad both have hearing loss and you're just unsure, come in for an evaluation. Like I said, it's 15 to 20 minutes. It'll give us a baseline. And then say you do have something wrong, or you have an ear infection and you think it might have been a more permanent loss, we can pull out that audiogram and compare at any time.
Okay.
So you're never too young for a hearing test.
And if you work maybe in an industrial job, and you might be around machinery, or you're in a loud environment, you should be wearing something on your ears.
Yeah, a lot of factories now, there's OSHA regulations, so they are really good at maintaining that, and they also have a program where you're getting your hearing tested in your workspace at least once a year. So they're pretty good with that, and they know you should be wearing those disposable plugs.
Gotcha. Let's go back to price really quick, because that's something that's very competitive. I'm sure people try to shop around.
Yes.
But again, the thing that makes you different, as we talked about, is that it's you. It's you're answering the phone.
Yeah.
You're and that's good, because you had that one-on-one connection with your patients.
Yeah.
So how do you work out the price if it's covered by insurance, if it's not covered by insurance?
Yeah.
You work with their budget.
I do. I can work with anybody and their budget. And I know that's so important and such a big factor of just getting you in the door, and because you're nervous about it, and I completely understand that. It is an investment. So if you have insurance, like I said, I'll verify that before the appointment so you'll know what you're getting into. If it's private pay, like you touched on, it is just me. So the nice part of that is I don't have crazy overhead or anything, so I can pass that savings on to my customer.
Very good, very good. That's really nice to know. And that it's not like a surprise price. I mean, you work over if it's covered by insurance, and then what competitively you can offer to the patient. The other thing we should mention is her face might look familiar. If her face doesn't look familiar, I'm sure her name is familiar. The DeNoias have been born and raised in this area, and you've lived here your whole life.
Yeah, so I grew up in Berwick, but that doesn't mean that I haven't been in the Hazleton area my whole life. My grandparents were from here, so I would spend weekends with them, and we'd go all over Hazleton, and I was really exposed to the culture. So it is not something that I'm unfamiliar with. Also, my dad worked in the school district for many years, so you would see me at basketball games or any kind of events. And I also worked at Valley Elementary as a counselor in my high school years. So
you're well known here in the area. You know the area and the people.
For sure,
as well.
yes, yeah.
So again, support local. Be great to have some people come in. Again, we welcome our Pottsville viewers to stick with their convenience of visiting you at that location. Again, where's that location at?
So that is at 434 East Norwegian Street in Pottsville, so pretty much right downtown. And that is not going anywhere. There's no plans for that anything to change there.
Right, and there's parking right in front, your appointment only, so it's parking right there, easy access from one of the main roads there. And again, that place is also by appointment only.
By appointment only. Everything will be by appointment only. That's really the only thing that is changing.
Very good. Well, thank you for having us. We're excited about the new show. Again, you can watch the show on ssptv.com. You can watch it here on the replays on channel 190 in the Pottsville area, channels 513 and 13 in the Hazleton location, and also on channel 92 in Wilkes-Barre in that market. So please join us, support local, come and say hi to Shea DeNoia here. She's the owner of Ambrose Hearing, the newest location here located in the Laurel Mall. And that's our show for today. We thank you for watching us here on our brand new show, Ask the Audiologist. We'll see you next time.